Last night's game, the Texas Bowl. We'll start here. To me, last night's game reminded you that a D1 athlete is a D1 athlete for a reason, right? And even if you never said it out loud, there's probably a part of you that thought, yeah, look, I think LSU, like you said out loud, like, no, I mean, there's no chance, right? How could they win? They have all this working against them. But there's a part of you in your head that was probably like, LSU might have a chance, right? I mean, it's Kansas State. John Trey Kirkland was good in high school. He's really athletic, really fast. And I thought it was kind of like being slapped with a cold salmon to the face. An immediate wake-up call after the first couple series. Any thoughts like this were out of line. Even in my head, I kept talking about how fun maybe the LSU offense could be, and maybe you could do something like cool, like wildcat attack with John Trey and get really creative and crazy. But look, this ain't high school. And so I love the effort from the team. I love every single guy that was on that field last night, right? Every single guy that stuck around and chose to play in that game with just 39 strong, with a coaching staff made up of new faces and faces that are about to leave and faces that mean nothing to your future. I applaud every, especially the seniors, the guys that could have quit, maybe the ones who are going to the NFL. I applaud everybody who stuck around and played in that game. And I felt like you felt that effort. I mean, look at the first couple of series defensively. The boys came out. They were playing fast, flying around. But when push came to shove, again, you see why D1 athletes are D1 athletes, right? Even a team like Kansas State, you just can't plug and play an entire roster and coaching staff and beat Kansas State. So good for playing hard. I love the John Trey Kirkland stat line, right? The final stat line, 711 and 138, 3 touchdowns to 2 picks. Also had 61 yards on the ground. The 81-yard touchdown at the end was a dime. It also led to Kansas State having to celebrate while the LSU band played, which I really enjoyed. But let's be clear. The big takeaway from this game is that it doesn't mean anything. It honestly doesn't mean anything. And so while I know it stings from a pride standpoint to watch Kansas State celebrate and whatnot, and you're certainly going to have people who want revenge on Kansas State, like sure, whatever. But it doesn't really mean anything. What you witnessed last night, have you all ever heard of, there were no great insights. Have you all ever heard of a prescribed burn? So they do to like forests, do it to fields as well. Farmers will. Well, last night was the prescribed burn of the LSU football program. What a prescribed burn is, it's a planned fire to maintain the health of a forest, right? It gets rid of dead grass, fallen branches, dead trees, undergrowth, reduces insect population, invasive vegetation gets thrown out. It can actually help fight against out-of-control wildfires in the future, puts a ton of nutrients back into the soil immediately. Here's just a little prescribed burn fun fact that doesn't really play into the analogy, but I think it's fascinating. Some plants, such as pine species, require fire before the cones or fruits containing the seeds can release them. These cones or fruits need fire to melt a resin that holds the seeds inside. As a result, without fire, these species cannot reproduce. That's pretty fascinating, right? That is evolution at its finest. That literally it is built into these trees that these seeds are only planted from fire so that new trees can rise anew in a healthier environment. So you get the point, right? This is the controlled burn from which the seeds of the future will be planted. This is the final clearing of the detritus of the not even just the Ed Ogeron era, in my opinion, but in a lot of ways, what I feel like you witnessed last night was the final clearing of the detritus of the golden era of LSU. Really an era that started with Nick Saban so many years ago, back in 2000, into Les Miles, into Ed Ogeron, and finally, after so much good came crashing down in a heap of bad, the forest was just too old. Too many dead trees. The ecosystem was starting to suffer, and, well, it required a burning. It required massive change, and that's what you're getting. So I'm not too upset about last night. I applaud everybody who took the field for LSU last night. It would have been exceedingly easy not to play that game. And you know what? Again, shame on the NCAA for not granting Nussmeier the waiver. I mean, if the NCAA is so just silly. They're just silly in terms of the lines that they draw. Was that a better product? Was that player safety? Was that anything for LSU to have to play a wide receiver quarterback last night? Like, if you want him to play the game, why would Nuss not get a waiver? But whatever. Again, nothing matters because now the Brian Kelly era begins fresh. And we can talk about what he said at the game last night, and we will get there. But that's the overall point, okay, is that last night you had a very symbolic burning down, and like the Phoenix, right? I mean, you see these stories of rebirth and rising from the ashes throughout history, like the Phoenix and mythology and religion, for that matter. But like the Phoenix, LSU will rise from the ashes, and it will be with Southern Brian Kelly at its head. And make no mistakes, their enemies will quake with fear, okay? And they should, because I do believe the future of LSU remains exceedingly bright, exceedingly bright. We could be getting into Golden Generation Part 2. Only time will tell. All right, when we get back, let's go ahead and close out hour number 1. And then to kick off hour 2, we're going to do some flustering with Matt Flynn. Keep it locked right here on OTB.